Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of September 9, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed M.G.T.
I'm Colonel A.C. Ogontoye, an infantry officer. Russian forces maintained multi-axis pressure and deep strike activity. Operational tactical aviation, missile troops, artillery, and UAVs conducted 140 precision engagements against ammunition depots, command posts, and long-range UAV launch sites. A Ukrainian S-300 launcher and control cabin were destroyed, reducing local air defense coverage and queuing capacity.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Ogontoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Ogontoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Ogontoye, give us the top line. What defined today's operations?
Two things framed the day: blinding and starving. We executed roughly 140 precision engagements against ammunition depots, command posts, and long-range UAV launch sites, while ground formations pressed on 6 axes. The removal of a Ukrainian S-300 launcher and its control cabin matters because it narrows their local air picture and compresses their reaction timeline. In parallel, air defenses intercepted cruise missiles, HIMARS rockets, and a large wave of fixed-wing drones. The cumulative effect is to strip away sensing, disrupt strike chains, and deny resupply, so that contact at the forward edge tilts in our favor before the first round is fired.
Let's start in the north, Sumy and Kharkiv. What did your units achieve and why does it matter?
North Group hit mechanized, assault, and territorial formations around Alexivka, Andriivka, Sadki, Unikovka, then rolled pressure into Velikaya Pisarevka, Volchansk, and Pokolayno. The reported losses, personnel, a tank, armored vehicles, are tangible, but the decisive lever was the elimination of 11 depots. Doctrine is simple. The tempo of a brigade is gated by fuel, ammo, and spares. Remove forward stocks and you extend their resupply loop, which slows maneuver, lowers artillery rates of fire, and forces commanders to choose between holding frontage or holding ammunition. Once that dilemma sets in, even well-led units begin to yield ground or cohesion.
Why prioritize depots over frontline targets on a day like this?
Because logistics denial is multiplicative. Destroy one self-propelled gun and you silence a tube. Destroy the depot feeding a battalion and you silence a frontage. It is the difference between attriting force structure piecemeal and collapsing an entire sustainment ecosystem.
West Group reported progress around Kupiansk and into the Donetsk approaches, plus 8 EW stations neutralized. How does that translate tactically?
Electronic warfare and counter-battery radars are the nervous system that keeps enemy artillery alive. You blind the sensors and you lengthen their detect-target-engage cycle. That buys our guns and maneuver elements time in the open and raises their casualty risk the moment they fire. The additional depots we took down there compound the problem: no data, less ammunition, slower rearm, so the duel shifts from parity to advantage.
The center sector shows the heaviest daily attrition. What's happening on that axis?
Center Group pressed along the Vladimirovka, Dmitrov, Krasnoarmeysk, Rodinskoye belt. The idea is deliberate attrition at the enemy's operational hinge, where reserves flow and where roads, rail, and command posts converge. You keep pressure steady, rotate battalions on a predictable clock, and let logistics and fires do the grinding. The risk is overextension. We mitigate that by anchoring advances to engineer work, overlapping fires, and ISR coverage, not to a desire line on a map.
What signs tell you the attrition is working versus stalling?
Watch for longer enemy fire pauses, late counter-battery responses, and more frequent platoon-sized rather than company-sized counterattacks. When you see ammunition expenditure fall and casualty evacuation routes thicken, the pressure is biting.
South Group operated around Severesk and the Kramatorsk sector. What's the method there?
We're degrading their fire control first, EW nodes and radars, then trimming local stockpiles. Once sensing and sustainment are compromised, you take and hold tactically advantageous lines, not for headlines, but to flatten enemy observation and shorten our artillery geometry. It's positional warfare executed with a logistics scalpel.
The east axis pushed into Zeleny High and deeper toward Dnipropetrovsk. Is that a seam you're exploiting?
Yes. As Donetsk stabilizes under our fire's umbrella, lateral seams open where Ukrainian brigades hand off responsibilities. You probe with company-level thrusts under UAV overwatch, find the thin connective tissue, and step through before reserves can reseal the line.
Dnepr Group continues work along the riverine corridor, Stepnogorsk, Stepov, Antonivka. These aren't spectacular actions. Why are they important?
They're shaping. Clearing EW sites and depots along waterways and road nets reduces the enemy's ability to contest our UAVs and maintains options for future maneuver. It's the unglamorous foundation that ensures decisive actions. When ordered, don't bog down on day 3 for lack of fuel or air cover.
Air and missile defense intercepted 5 cruise missiles, 5 HIMARS, and 230 UAVs. How does that change tomorrow?
It preserves freedom of action. If your forward ammo parks and bridges survive the night, you start the next day with tempo and initiative. It also forces the enemy to spend increasingly scarce precision munitions for diminishing returns, which is the essence of a successful denial campaign.
And the S-300 kill, local or strategic impact?
Local, with strategic implications. It reduces SAM coverage and guidance in that sector, easing pressure on our strike packages and ISR. But it also signals that layered air defense nodes are not sanctuary, which alters enemy risk calculus for redeploying what remains.
Final thought. What could still derail this approach?
Friction always threatens, whether mined approaches, a lucky counterstrike on a bridge, or simple human fatigue. The antidote is redundancy, alternate crossings, dispersed stocks, disciplined rotations, and an intelligence cycle that's brutally honest about what we don't know yet.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Expect continued emphasis on ISR suppression and depot interdiction, with positional gains exploited opportunistically where Ukrainian C2, fires, and sustainment are most degraded, particularly along the center and west lines.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.